Like any other 7-year-old, Abdel likes to go to school and play with his friends. But Abdel is not a normal child. He lives in a refugee camp in Lebanon, displaced along with his family due to the civil war in Syria, and he is not alone. According to the United Nations official website, more than 43 million people worldwide are forcibly displaced as a result of war and persecution. Several million more are displaced every year as a result of natural disasters, such as the typhoon that struck the Philippines recently. Through no fault of their own, these people have been forced from their homes, and they need our help. The purpose of this speech is to convince my audience that they should volunteer for the International Rescue Committee, which provides direct assistance to refugees worldwide. As a student with the Center for Security Studies here at Angelo State University, I have devoted hundreds of hours to studying the contemporary security issues around the world, including the issues of refugees. I will begin by discussing the basic needs of refugees, particularly the need for safety and security, adequate food and clean water, and medical treatment. I will present some possible solutions to the refugee problems, and then tell you how you can make a difference. Let's begin by discussing safety and security. Safety and security is a basic human need, and is essential before displaced populations can return to their homes and lives. Security problems in refugee camps often arise as a result of agitators seeking to stir up trouble, or from a lack of resources because of theft, poor funding, and mismanagement. For example, according to an April 2013 article in The Guardian, 6 or 7 significant incidents arise every week, forcing aid workers to temporarily move locations at the Zaatari refugee camp in Jordan, home to an estimated 140,000 Syrian refugees. Problems like these are a result of poor camp management. According to human rights activist Isa Marazik, camps should be managed by people who have experience and training in dealing with refugees, and have experience in delivering aid, fundraising, as well as management. The International Rescue Committee is prepared to ensure safety and security by maintaining emergency response teams consisting of specialists who focus on human rights protection, the need to help children in crises, and the prevention of sexual violence. These teams are on standby, ready to respond within 72 hours of a crisis or to lend aid to other organizations already on the ground. The International Rescue Committee is on the ground in Lebanon and Jordan and other countries, helping to ensure security as well as refugees' access to food and water. Ensuring refugee populations have access to nutritious food and clean water is vital. According to the United Nations Refugee Agency, there is a clear link between nutrition and public health. Mass population movements can result in high rates of malnutrition, sickness, and death. Shortages of food also make people more vulnerable to sexual abuse and exploitation. Clean drinking water is essential in refugee camps. The International Rescue Committee includes experts in water and sanitation who are trained to set up effective water distribution systems that provide clean and safe drinking water for camp populations. Access to clean and safe drinking water is also a vital element in disease prevention. Overpopulation combined with poor sanitation often combines to create significant health concerns in refugee camps. According to a 2012 article by Vindushi Sinha of the International Food Policy Research Institute, United Nations AIDS agencies are blaming serious food and water problems in many refugee camps for the spread of life-threatening diseases. In one example, camp officials in the South Sudan have reported cases of hepatitis E, a viral disease spread through contaminated food and water. This is but one example of the problem of poor health care. The International Rescue Committee provides medical care to approximately 13 million people in 25 countries, focusing on primary health care, reproductive health care, environmental health, child survival, and assistance to victims of sexual violence. The IRC stands ready to provide this vital medical aid to refugees of war, famine, and natural disasters worldwide. As you can see, the plight of refugees around the world presents serious concerns on many levels, and while the scope of the problem is immense, there are solutions. The solutions to refugee problems are as varied as the causes. Natural disasters cannot be prevented, but the damage they cause can be mitigated through better infrastructure and early warning. Wars and other conflicts can sometimes be prevented through diplomacy, but when that fails, people need to be ready to act on behalf of the displaced populations. That's where organizations like the International Rescue Committee come in, but they cannot do it without the help from people just like you and me. You can help the International Rescue Committee in the following ways. First way to help is to donate money. The IRC accepts donations online, through the mail, and over the phone, and 92 cents out of every dollar goes directly to benefit refugees. Raising funds for refugee relief goes beyond donations, and the IRC holds a number of fundraisers every year and also encourages people and assists them in hosting their own fundraising events. You can find more information about hosting a fundraiser on the IRC website, rescue.org. Another way to help is to advocate for refugee needs and change. The IRC website has links to help you communicate with Congress and see that refugees receive the help that they need. Volunteering in your local community is also a great way to get involved. The IRC has offices in 22 cities in the United States, as close to us as Abilene, offering many opportunities to help. And finally, for the adventurous among you, the IRC has a variety of boots-on-the-ground roles for people willing to go in and offer hands-on assistance. As you can see, everybody has the ability to help, according to their own abilities and means. If you choose to get involved in a hands-on manner, you can expect hard work in bad and often dangerous conditions. The reward is seeing a young child with a smile on her face, because she has a safe place to sleep, good food and medical care, and most of all, hope. Providing direct aid to refugees relieves suffering and puts displaced populations in a position to reclaim their lives and rebuild their societies. If we do not take action to help refugees, the consequences will be severe. Poor conditions in refugee camps not only breed malnutrition and disease, but they are also fertile breeding grounds for extremists, criminals, and terrorists. If we do not take a positive and active role in relieving the plight of refugees around the world, we should not be surprised when these camps become recruiting grounds for those wishing to do us harm. As you can see, the rewards for helping are great, but the risks of not helping may be even greater. Today I have talked to you about the concerns of millions of refugees around the world, including the need for safety and security, clean food and water, and medical treatment. I have shared a few ways you can get involved to help relieve the suffering. And finally, I have discussed the importance of getting involved and the dangers we face if we do nothing. I hope now you have a better understanding of the importance of helping agencies like the International Rescue Committee. Volunteers play a critical role in the International Rescue Committee's efforts to restore safety, dignity, and hope to people whose lives have been uprooted by war and disaster. You can make a difference in the life of someone like Abdel by calling the International Rescue Committee at 1-855-9-RESCUE or by going to their website, www.rescue.org.